A man went to court in a custody case and passionately defended himself against arguments from officers that he was responsible for cruelty and neglect. The officers visited a Beaumont home last week in the 3600 block of Laurel Lee. Reporter Justin Hinton has a reaction to the custody hearing and the judge's decision.
You good boy.
Kate Paget plays with one of 6 pit bulls living at Beaumont Animal Services. Officers seized them and 6 others from a home.
We actually have to have one of the local boarding facilities help us out and board some of the animals there.
A dozen in all, removed because of phone calls reporting the dogs were neglected and involved in fighting.
Most all the dogs are chained up in an unhealthy situation. Either the chains are too short, too heavy, or just any number of things that we could find.
Matthew Fortenberry is the supervisor of Beaumont Animal Services. He says the dogs either didn't have water, or if they did, there was very little, and it was extremely dirty.
Is Mr. Pete present? Yes, sir.
Claims the owner, Quenten Pete, defended in Justice of the Peace Ken Dollinger's Jefferson County Court. He told the judge he paid a man to give the dogs water, but the man didn't do it on the day officers came to the home.
Any objections to the photographs?
And he responded to pictures Animal Services and police took as part of the seizure. Pete says some of the pictures show dogs that aren't his, although he allowed them to stay at the home.
Yeah, whatever they saying what's wrong, I can fix it. You want the chains long, I can go buy all long chains. But I want my dogs back.
But for the judge, Pete's answers were too little, too late.
Finds that the animals in question have been cruelly treated as defined by the city statute.
Now, Pete must pay nearly $1,300 in court costs and boarding fees and allow Animal Services to put them up for adoption, a decision that didn't sit lightly with him as he headed back to his car.
I'm through with dogs. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. They didn't ran me away from ran me away from something I love, and that's raising dogs. I don't even want none around me no more, because I never stood a chance anyway. I didn't even have to come up here and claim my dogs.
In Beaumont, Justin Hinton, KFDM 6 News.
Pete says he doesn't plan to appeal the ruling. Animal Services will test the dog for rabies and other diseases, which is standard procedure to determine if they can be adopted. Fortenberry says investigators will later decide whether to pursue criminal charges for animal cruelty as well as animal fighting.